250th El-Clasico this weekend, and it's such an anticlimactic affair as Real Madrid completely run a havoc at the Bernabeu, Aniket. And this especially comes after a terrible and shambolic defeat against Inter in the Champions League. Welcome to the Forza Barca podcast. This is your host Shubham. I have with me Aniket. And wow, Aniket, let's just get started. We have two games in front of us to analyze. Sorry for the delay, actually. Yesterday we had everything recorded on our computer, but just in the end, when we were finishing up with the recording, my computer crashed, so everything went away. And today we have to do it once again. So sorry for the delay. And Aniket, let us get started.
So let's just start with the lineups which Xavi chose in the match yesterday. Rafinha, Lewandowski, and Dembele were in the attack. Pedri, Busquets, and Frankie De Jong were the midfield. Balde, Koundé, Eric Garcia, and Roberto were the defensive line, and Marc-Andre ter Stegen started as our goalkeeper for yesterday's match against Real Madrid.
Yeah, an interesting set of lineup selected by Xavi. Some positives there as he went with Balde and not with Marcos Alonso or Jordi Alba to at the left back position. Roberto one was a bit. I think he did not have any option. Maybe he could have gone with Koundé, instead of Roberto, and played another centre back like Marcos Alonso. But yes, we will get into the details of this and how it could have completely changed the game, because this is exactly the position, Roberto's position, where the Madrid started the attack. And Aniket, let us continue.
So basically, as you were saying, this is the exact position of Sergio Roberto where Real Madrid started with their attack. It was in the 12th minute, I believe. Vinicius Junior received a ball and he just went in from that position of Sergio Roberto. He kept on running through the flank. He curled the ball inside and shot it. Fortunately enough, Marc-Andre ter Stegen was still there to save the ball, but Benzema somehow got the rebound, shot it again, and boom, it was a goal for Real Madrid. Unfortunate goal for Real Madrid. In the first place, when Vinicius Junior was running, I thought that we are gone, because there were no defenders in between him and Vinicius Junior. So I thought it was gone. It would have been a goal, but a nice effort by Marc-Andre ter Stegen. But unfortunate enough, that Benzema got the ball and scored the goal.
Yeah, I mean, Aniket, somehow it was not a surprise that the first attack for Real Madrid was from the left wing, because every single fan or personnel who is involved with Real Madrid knows where do they attack from, and it was certain. And I think this is a naivety from Xavi, because he could have had better tactics than this one.
As you were saying, exactly as you were saying in the introduction, that one of the places of Sergio Roberto, it should have been Koundé in his place. And as you said, the second centre back would have been Marcos Alonso. Balde would have been the left back, Marcos Alonso, Eric Garcia, and Koundé. But he goes with Sergio Roberto. And as you said, that everyone would know that Vinicius Junior would be running down towards the flank. So my question here is, what was Sergio Roberto doing in the attacking section? He should have just one job: to keep Vinicius Junior in his pocket, not in his pocket, but block all the shots from Vinicius Junior, block all those runs of Vinicius Junior on that flank there. But he was not given the task of that, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, it was pretty naive from Xavi to play so widely. I mean, after all, Real Madrid are the champions of the league and champions of Europe. Okay, so you need to give some respect to them. It was a terrible plan that Xavi came up with. I mean, we have supported Xavi all along, and still we support him, and we will discuss about this aspect in as we move on in this episode. But my point is, and I completely agree with you, Aniket, here, is Sergio Roberto's job should have been that it's okay that even if you don't touch the football for 90 minutes, it's fine. The only job is you don't let Vinicius Junior play, because if he plays, he can have more influence than Sergio Roberto's, attacking segue. So it
And
was a
that's what
terrible
was
plan.
exactly seen in the first goal.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I mean, okay, so we have been mentioning this that international break has had a very terrible effect on our play, on our, I think, confidence in general, because we lost so many players. And
Yeah.
but the thing is, now we almost had, I think, 9 out of 11 or 10 out of 11 first team
Mm.
players.
Mm.
So enough of this excuse, but just to point out, or just to emphasize on the facts, in that emphatic 4-0 win over Real Madrid in the last El-Clasico, for Xavi, one of the most important aspects of that win was Araujo, who played on the right wing and who actually kept Vinicius Junior under his belt, or under his, I don't know, under his watch.
Yeah.
So I mean, we surely missed Araujo. And as you said, I think playing Kunde there instead of Sergio Roberto could have, maybe saved this first attack, or at least few attacks. I don't know. I mean, they could have had another attack from different angle. But I'm just saying that it could have been more useful
Yeah.
to at least keep Vinicius Junior in check. Anyway, that's that. And then the problem is, as soon as the Real Madrid scored this goal, Barcelona were looked like everything has been lost, because
Mm.
the goal came on just like 12th minute. So you still have 78 minutes to play for. The game did
Mm.
not end. 78 minutes is a long time, and you have had a good previous El Clasico at the same ground. Keep your patience. Keep uh, believe in believe in your plans. Believe in what you strategized for all week for this game, but surely not. And I think this is what happened. I think after shambolic defeat against Inter twice, actually. Okay, so it did not come as a defeat because it was technically a draw, but we are considering it as no less than a defeat. It is a
Yeah.
defeat, and a very okay. I'm really digressing here, but my point is, Xavi and Busquets, I think in the post-match conference. I don't know. It was not a conference, but it was just like, I think
QA
interview.
session, question answer
Yeah.
session. Yeah.
I think Sergio Busquets and Xavi mentioned this, that surely this draw, or this terrible performance against Inter would influence, or would impact our mindset in El Clasico. And this exactly what happened. Actually,
Mm.
I don't agree with what they said previously, because to come to come like this from a captain, or from a coach of FC Barcelona, is terrible. It shows how weak you are if one tournament is impacting your second tournament. So it shows
Yeah.
how much strength you actually need, to gain. But anyway, this exactly what happened. And then suddenly, I think Real Madrid pounced on another goal on 35th minute. I think somehow Real Madrid got it. The goal started from the right hand side. I don't remember actually who tried to pass the ball. Maybe it was Valverde or Carvajal. I don't know. But it was supposed to be a lob kind of a pass to Vinicius Junior, who was in the front, close to Barcelona box. It would have never reached him, except for Garcia's deflection. First mistake, a very big one, as we always discuss that his mistake directly lead to a blunder. This is exactly what happened. Vinicius Junior got the ball. He kept the ball with himself for some time. Then he slowly backheeled the ball, I think, to Chouameni, who was just running from to the front. He collects the ball. He sees Mendy on the left-hand side of the box of Barcelona, and gives the ball to Mendy. And by this time, Aniket, by the time Chouameni passed the ball to Mendy, I remember there were like 5 or 6 or 7 plays. Even Rafinha was
Yeah.
trying and
Yeah.
almost reached
So I could clearly imagine, like I could clearly see the picture in my mind. There were almost six players in Barcelona's box, and Pedri and Rafinha were running inside the box.
yeah,
So yeah, there were almost 7 to 8 players in the Barcelona box
yeah,
at that time.
and everyone was just I don't know, strolling in the park.
Yeah,
Is it some kind of garden? Especially
yeah,
Busquets and all the defensive midfielder, even Frankie De Jong. What was happening? No one was trying to press. they literally gave up. They were just looking, okay, maybe they are too scared of going and fouling someone because they know that if they foul, they could concede, like they could have a yellow card, they could pick up a yellow card, or they could concede a free kick in a dangerous position. I don't know. Their mentality was, but no one was going, and that's a big problem.
Yeah.
And then Mendy, he had ample amount of time because no one was even going at Mendy. He looked at Valverde, who was coming, out of nowhere. He collects the ball. He takes a look at the goal, very comfortably because no one is coming to take the ball away from him. Takes a bullet shot on the ground and boom, goal. 2-0.
So I could see a major mistake in this one. Like if we have 7 to 8 players inside the box, why in the hell Valverde is not marked? Why in the hell he's free? There was no one coming down to Valverde.
Why
There
is
was no one
why is
pressing.
Valverde free? Why was Chouameni free? Why was
Exactly.
Vinicius
Why are
free?
these
Why was
players free?
Mendy free?
Why are they not marking these players? Why are they not pressing these players? I mean, when I saw the second goal, I could see that even Valverde, when he shot the ball, he was not confident enough that this one is going inside because we had 6 to 7 players in between goal and Valverde.
Yeah.
But somehow it went inside, and there was joy in Real Madrid's campaign again.
Yeah, and completely disarray and a look of dismay in Barcelona's camp. Completely. They were lost. The faces
After
were
the
lost.
second
They
goal,
had given up. They had
after the second goal,
they had
their
absolutely
body
given up.
language was totally gone. There was nothing left inside their bodies to play the game. It was like, yeah, just let's wrap up this game and just go home and do whatever. They were in no mind to play the game again.
Yeah. A very terrible first half. I think Real Madrid couldn't have had a better first half to begin the game
Yeah,
with. What a performance by them. I think
true.
in the first half, they were not as good as or as dominant as a team should be, but I think they were enough. They were dominant enough to, I think, roll over Barcelona. And Barcelona were not exactly as bad as the scoreline suggested, but I think they were not clinical enough at all. They were not creating chances. They just, they made mistakes and they conceded. It was like
Yeah,
that.
so the first thing the first problem which I could see here is whenever Barcelona is on the ball, they are passing the ball, but with no intent to score the goal. They are just passing and passing and passing. But when they reach the box, when they are inside the box, there is nothing creative at all to score the goal. Even if they score, even if they reach the box, and even if they make the cross happen, the strikers they lose confidence all of a sudden, and they shoot it sky high, or they shoot it way wider than the goalpost. So that is a major problem with Barcelona these days.
Indeed.
So as you said, like the scoreline, it was 2-0 when they went to the dressing room. In the dressing room, there would be some discussions about how the gameplay would proceed and everything like that. But the team was unchanged until the 60th minute when we saw 3 substitutions. So Ferran Torres was brought in for Rafinha, Gavi was brought in for Busquets, and Jordi Alba took the position from Alex Balde. So these were the 3 substitutions in the 60th minute. And after like 14 minutes, it was
Actually, before you go to that point, Aniket, let's talk about this aspect. Is as how was Sergio Busquets allowed to play for 60th minute?
Yeah, that's a good point, because if you see the game yesterday, Sergio Busquets was out of his mind, out of his place, and he was not contributing to the game as much he did in the past seasons or past years. He was just standing there. I could remember one instance. He was standing there with the ball. No one was even pressing Sergio Busquets, and he was clueless. Where should I pass the ball? How should the game proceed? Like, he fumbled in between the game and he could not recover it since then. So I don't know what he did there for 60 minutes. That's a long period of time. I thought in the dressing room he would have been replaced with Gavi or by even Kessie, but it never
Yeah.
happened until 60th minute.
Yeah, I mean, I think he should have. So if I am selecting a lineup, I might be enticed by Sergio Busquets as well, because even if he is past his prime, he still has some of those qualities which can completely transform a game. Because
Of course.
if you remember, Aniket, the game against Bayern Munich, he was one of the best players on
Yep.
that pitch, especially in the first half, who was stealing position in the Bayern box or very close to Bayern box, at least in the Bayern half, giving all straight passes directly, intending to score goals. One of the best players that played for Barcelona on that day. But
Yeah.
for that to happen, the most important problem, or I think the biggest problem here, is he needs to be accommodated there.
Mm.
So for him to play well, he needs some assistance, to do the dirty work, to go and run back to defend the ball, especially when it's a counter attack, because he cannot run. And this is exactly what happened in the first goal, because he was trying to foul somehow Cruz, who did not let his position get lost. He never looked like in danger, even if he was slipping.
Yeah.
The ball was through perfectly to Vinicius Junior, and I think the first decision of Xavi should have been, okay, this clearly does not look to be worked out. Let me make a change. First half substitution, second half substitution, as soon as the halftime is done, should have been Gavi in or Kessie in for Busquets.
Yep. So, as I always say, I just want to mention this statement once again. When you see Busquets in game, you know that it's not a good game for him. And yesterday's match, we could see Busquets all over the place.
Yeah.
Like even he tried to press, but he could not do it effectively. He tried to pass the ball, but he could not do it effectively. I don't know. You could see Busquets all over the place in yesterday's game, and that implies he was not having a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as soon as Gavi came, you could see he's going at everyone. He brought that energy. He is exactly what kind of player is required, especially in this big energy, big games, because you need that ballsy nature. Again, it's not a misogynist statement. I'm just talking about like the guts that you need to have when you have to go and play in such big games. And Gavi was everything what we wanted in the game. Unfortunately, we only got 30 minutes out of him.
Yeah, I could remember one instance where when Lewandowski was fouled by Vinicius Junior and he was on the ball. Vinicius Junior was just passing and taking the ball from Lewandowski, and there comes Gavi, who indeed fouled Vinicius Junior and took the ball away from him. But unfortunately, that was a foul. Yes, that was a foul. But as you were saying, that it needs guts to foul Vinicius Junior. Let it be Benzema, let it be Carvajal, let it be whoever it is on the pitch. It needs guts to make that attempt to steal the ball.
Yeah, and after that
Yeah.
foul, Benzema slapped Gavi. Such a terrible thing to do when you're leading 2-0. You are a captain. I think he was the captain, if I'm not wrong. He's the captain of Real Madrid team. He actually won Ballon d'Or now when we are shooting this podcast. And you are slapping an 18-year-old kid who's trying to play football. Wow, that shows the amount of respect that you give to your rivals. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I think Ankit, you were talking about the penalty shoot.
I want to talk about this decision about the referee. Like, I was a little bit surprised when I saw this happen, and when the referee did not even look at the VAR. So let me just describe how the things happened. It was 74th minute. Lewandowski was on the ball inside the penalty area. He took the ball past Eder Militao with ease, with no problem at all. But then he reached Carvajal, and Carvajal, he, with no intent to steal the ball from Lewandowski, he just slammed Lewandowski from the back and tackled him, ruthless tackle to steal the ball. At the end, he got the ball, and the referee standing just beside Lewandowski denied the foul. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell is happening here? Did not even stop the game to look at VAR. No foul, no penalty, nothing at all. I mean, what is going on in here? Like, why the VAR is still in football? It should have been kicked outside. Like, it should have been kicked.
It was a disgrace to start with, because I don't understand that you are in one of the most important games that is being played in the season, who is being watched by who is being watched by 700 million people, and you don't even having all kinds of technology. When there is a big shout, a team was so excited to about that foul. You, at least the least that you can do is go on the screen and watch,
Yeah,
because that was a clear foul. That was a clear penalty.
yeah,
A clear
that was
penalty.
that was
But
indeed. And if
yeah,
that penalty would have been awarded, and if that would have been scored, the game line would have been different, like totally different.
yeah, completely. Actually, Lewandowski had a terrible day once again.
Yeah.
We need to discuss about him as well, because of course we are going to discuss about his two late goals against Inter, and how that somehow gave Barcelona belief that we can do it, and alas, we couldn't. Uh, but okay, he tried his best. But today he went back again to nothing, because today there was a bit of, so okay. I wouldn't say that there was like not many chances created, but there were. Aniket, you remember in the first half, he just had to tap the ball in when I think it was given by Rafinha inside, drilled by Rafinha, and he did not even, he touched the ball and it was skied. So again,
Yep.
Lewandowski, I think he had a terrible game. But again, as you were saying, if that could have gone in and this was a penalty, it was 2-2, and then you never know what happens in El-Clasico. It
Exactly.
completely changes. It
It was
completely changes
2-2.
the faction of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything would have been different if that would have been given the goal, not the goal or penalty, to be honest.
Yeah. 2 or 3 minutes later, after this penalty shout, Gavi steals the ball, just outside by Real Madrid box, emphatically, and gives the ball to I think Ansu Fati, who drills a bullet shot inside, just wide,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
wide. It was such a like oof moment, where
Inches
things,
wide,
yeah, yeah,
inches wide. I just jumped out of my seat out of despair, like, ah,
yeah. It could have been an amazing goal, but just
yeah,
a
yeah,
few minutes later, 83rd minute, again Gavi coming in big. He again steals the ball in an a weirdest fashion possible. I think he actually, that was a sliding tackle, but his feet were like in the air, and somehow as a half volley or a volley, he
sliding volley,
yeah.
whatever you call it.
So he was doing everything in one go. He was sliding, he was volleying, and he was still trying to pass or give a through ball to Ansu Fati, who was on the left wing. I think Valverde was no, not it was not Valverde. I don't remember who it was, but if the ball, if Gavi did not make that successful tackle, he was gone. With the counter
Yeah,
attack, because there
yeah,
was
yeah,
no one behind. But what happened? Gavi actually not just prevented the counter attack, he actually initiated one. And the through ball, which was perfectly pitched to Ansu Fati,
mm,
makes a beautiful dribble, a beautiful one, made dummy, climbed onto just onto Valverde, uh, goes in, drills the ball inside. Lewandowski makes a back heel with slightest of the touches or slightest of nudges, not even a touch. I don't know if it was if he was going for a goal, or if he knew he was smart enough that Ferran was just behind him without a single defender. Ferran gets the ball completely open into the net, a tap in, but again, as we say, right time at right place, or right place at the right time, and boom, Barca pull one back. The score line is 2-1, and Aniket, things like this just make you feel what could have been if Lewandowski had converted the chance, and the penalty shout, turned into a penalty. And if it would have been converted into one, 3-2, Barca actually tried to play a good football in the end. They were
Yeah.
constantly attacking, and this is what you understand. Um, when you have players who actually intend to score a goal. And this is what was missing in the first half, especially from Sergio Busquets, Dembele, Rafinha. I mean,
Yeah.
Rafinha was still trying to get into the game, but completely ineffective. And Dembele was completely ineffective. No words for him. I don't think he had even one key pass or a creative game. Nothing.
No.
And then you see the impact, an immediate one, as soon as Ansu steps in. And what was happening? He had like 3 or 4 amazing chances in last 15 minutes.
Yeah, even I could remember one chance. It was in the 87th minute, if I'm not wrong. A big chance. It was a half volley or kind of a volley from Ansu Fati. I don't know. It was just 3 minutes shy of 90 minutes. Maybe Ansu Fati could have passed that ball to Lewandowski because he was just right behind, standing totally open.
But even the gameplay for that shot was so beautiful because Jordi Alba again crosses the ball inside. I think Sergio Roberto tries to head in. It gets rebounded by some other player. Then Ansu Fati gets it. He tries an acrobatic kind of a shot on the first touch. As you say, I completely agree with you that he did not have to do that. But again, Aniket, some chances, being a striker, you have that instinct. And I think it's...
I'm not saying anything against Ansu Fati. It was 87th minute, man. Come on. He's just a 19-year-old kid. So he's not established
about the
like
nerves.
that yet.
Talk about the nerves.
Exactly. So 87th minute, he took that shot. And if that would have been a goal, that would have been a screamer, man. Like, unfortunate enough for the young boy. But the scoreline still remains 2-1.
Yeah. I think, Aniket, these are the chances actually which differentiate, let's say, champions from currently what Barcelona is. Because Real Madrid did not have a plethora of chances. I think if you count the number of chances, Barcelona might win that race. Because if you talk about the expected goals, I think it was 2.35 for Barcelona and 0.65 for Real Madrid. So talk about expected goals, So I think Barcelona need to have that kind of mentality that you have such a plethora of chances and you score like at least 20% of them, or you are 100% effective in, let's say,
whatever you create.
Exactly. And one of the two things are important, and currently Barcelona are, I think, lacking in this effectiveness.
So just one statistic, like I'm not even exactly 100% sure about this, but Real Madrid Real Madrid shot 5 of those shots on target, and they scored 3 goals, whereas Barcelona had 8 or 9 of them on target, like shots, to be honest, and everything got saved either by inches wide or either by the goalkeeper Lunin. So
but the goalkeeper did not have a good game. He did not have to do anything.
Exactly.
He was just one of the spectators.
It was missed by inches. So you have to convert these chances in goals.
Indeed. But then I think all the positivity that Barcelona fans were, I think, experiencing, everything went into drain as soon as this thing happened. Again, I don't know where to start, what to blame, how to rant, what about, my rant has to be there. I don't know. But 89th minute, I don't know, man. Like Rodrigo gets the ball on the right wing. He tries to go into the box. I think Eric Garcia, I don't know, man. It's very hard for me to defend Eric Garcia. I really like Eric Garcia. I actually like the player. I think he is a great talent. He's a great youngster. He
Yeah.
has that kind of, I don't know, that I don't know, man. Too
So,
much to
I can
digest.
totally understand. Like, he is good on ball. His ball position is good. He is a good central defender as well. He can pass the ball really good. He can see the gameplay. He has all those skill sets. But as we say, as we say that when he makes a mistake, it's a blunder. And today, it was not different at all.
But
He made blunders
Aniket,
today.
he did. Indeed, he did. But I have two more things to add here. First thing was the pass from Valverde to Rodrigo was a clear offside. Was a
Hmm.
clear offside.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're a Real Madrid fan. You need to understand that this is an offside. Period. It was as simple as that. But I don't know. VAR uh,
Hmm.
turned this completely announced that it's not offside at all, it's onside. And second thing, Aniket, was a I think the biggest disgrace of the whole game, even worse than Lewandowski penalty shout, was when Rodrigo was fouled, fouled by Eric Garcia. It was slightest of the touches. So
Hmm.
it was a very, very soft touch. So if Lewandowski's shout was not a penalty, this wasn't as well. So you
Hmm.
cannot be selective. You cannot be a hypocrite. If you think that that was a soft touch, this was also. If you think that this was not a soft touch, Lewandowski's one was also wasn't. So you need to travel in one boat. You cannot dabble here and there. So when he was fouled, there was no Real Madrid fan who was not fan, sorry, Real Madrid player who was claiming for that penalty. Not
Hmm.
even Rodrigo. You know,
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
you do you remember this? Not
Yeah. The
even
game was on.
Rodrigo.
No, I
Yeah,
could still remember the game was on. The game was till the midline. And
and
suddenly I hear a whistle and the game stopped.
Eric Garcia, as soon as he took the ball away, or I think it was to back to Ter Stegen, the gesture he did was like this. So get up. It was not a
Yeah.
penalty. So
Yeah.
and even Rodrigo got up. Even Rodrigo got up. There was no shout at all. But referee couldn't be patient enough not to run to the VAR screen. He
Yeah.
ran. And you know what happens? Anything when you watch in slow motion is a penalty, because a penalty, when you talk about momentum, it's
Yeah.
an acceleration thing. You cannot see in slow motion. It's physics.
Mhm.
You cannot just say if anything. Even if there is no touch, you watch that in slow motion, it will seem like a penalty.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, it's such a controversial decision. It's such a double standard that you saw from Real Madrid, sorry, from referees. Okay, anyway, I think it's the same thing anyway. A terrible call, a terrible day for Barcelona. No excuses, but I don't think we were that bad. The score line did not uh, you know
The scoreline did not
contemplate.
reflect the correct
Yeah, it did not
explanation of the
contemplate the
match.
number of chances we've created in
Yeah.
last 15-20 minutes. I
Yeah.
think just I think some bad luck, some bad decisions. I'm
Mm.
not saying that Barcelona are not at fault. They are. Xavi is at fault, but it's not that we deserve to lose. I think it was very close. It could have been a draw. It could have been a 2-2. I would have
Mm.
been happier, but a 3-1 doesn't seem like a sensible score line.
I absolutely agree with you, Shubham. 3-1 was not what I expected out of this match. And the kind of game we played does not deserve 3-1. We created ample amount of chances to score 2 to 3 goals for sure. And to add more to it, even the refereeing was not in the favor of Barcelona in the match yesterday. So, yeah, the combined effect of it is what the scoreline is saying. The 3-1 scoreline is not good at all for Barcelona and not good at all for the league table as well.
Yeah, I think Xavi needs to make some hard decisions right now, because
Mm.
I think the position of Busquets, let's say the position of Sergio Roberto, or at least the forward going attitude of Sergio Roberto needs to be, curtailed, or, there are many aspects. So, Aniket, what do you think? What exactly went wrong? Or what changes would you, as a Barcelona fan, or let's say, and what kind of analysis you make that what changes could help Barcelona win in the future, especially when against the next game, in the next game against Villarreal, because we need to have, or Barcelona need to have a comeback victory, because otherwise it will get harder and harder.
So, as you said, what changes need to be made? The first change which I could see is Sergio Busquets for sure. And I am getting some kind of reports that Sergio Busquets has been replaced for the next match against Valencia. So that's a good thing.
Villarreal.
Sorry, Villarreal. My bad. Against Villarreal. That's a good thing on Xavi's part that Sergio Busquets is not playing because, as you said, Sergio Busquets is irreplaceable in this Barcelona team. But you need to give chance to the players who are playing really, really good. Gavi is one of the players who needs to start the game for Barcelona. Frankie de Jong needs to start for Barcelona as well. There was no mistake from Frankie de Jong whatsoever in the last match. In the match against Inter Milan, when Frankie de Jong was brought on the pitch, it was a totally different game from him. Literally nice, beautiful gameplay by Frankie de Jong. So Frankie de Jong should start. Gavi should start and Sergio Busquets should be out. That's the first one. Second thing, I want to discuss one more thing about Frank Kessié. I could see Frank Kessié was warming up in 60th or 66th minute, something like that. But he was brought on the pitch in the 82nd or 80th minute. Like, what happened in between those 20 minutes? Like, what decisions changed? Because I could see the assistant manager giving some instructions to Frank Kessié. And that was the time, if Frank Kessié was on the pitch, Frankie de Jong and Frank Kessié would have created some box-to-box football, given those passes to the strikers, and they would have scored some goals. Who knows what would have been the scenario? But Frank Kessié needed to start that game at 60th minute, which we did not. So that were the two major things which I would like to focus on. And the third one, which we already discussed, about Koundé playing on the right back position and Marcos Alonso being the left center back. So those three things could have changed the game.
I think I completely agree with you, especially the point for Kessié, because I think Xavi needs to invent his midfield. There are two aspects. One is I feel he's still not sure about his first 11 because he needs to be sure. Aniket, we have ranted for years saying that our managers don't substitute. I think they go on with the same lineup. With Xavi, the problem is exactly opposite. He doesn't play same 11. He doesn't know the same 11. He can constantly make those changes, and I think that somehow gives the player some lack of chemistry. So enough of, I think, analysis, Aniket. Let's move on to the next segment of this episode, which is TAP Man of the Match, in which, of course, we give the Man of the Match award from ourselves. And I think this time it was clearly Ansu Fati who made so much of the difference as soon as he came on the pitch. His goal, not his goal, sorry, but his majestic pre-assist or assist, if you want to say. A beautiful dribble, plethora of chances. I think it needs balls, especially when it comes to players like Gavi and Ansu Fati, who actually gave a sense of belief to fellow Qs and to Xavi that still it's possible. We have enough time. Imagine, Aniket, if we had a full game of that, it could have been amazing, or at least a second half. It still could have been, a changed scoreline if Gavi and Ansu Fati again, could have started at 45 minutes.
These two youngsters bring a lot different kind of energy on the pitch, like positive energy, pressing energy. Gavi uses energy to press on the ball, to gain the ball, whereas Ansu Fati, with his brilliance and excellence, he cuts down through defenders and makes that cross a possibility. So yeah, we needed those energies, like, I don't know, for 45 minutes, for 90 minutes, if you could say, but yeah, that's what we missed in the game.
the only positive actually I got out from this game is I read some reports because regarding Ansu Fati, saying that, of course, just to give a brief about Ansu Fati, he was having a terrible time recently because of injuries, and then his injury relapsed because I don't know, maybe even after surgery. So then he went on with a conservative kind of a treatment, which Barcelona did not agree with. So there was again a drama. And then again, when he was supposed to come down, come out on the pitch, I think it still delayed because the conservative treatment was still not working for him. He did not have a proper preseason. Aniket, when he still started the game, he started the season, my bad. He wasn't still ready for spending whole 90 minutes on the pitch. And still now, I think last couple of weeks, the reports where now he is fit 100%. But the problem right now is he doesn't feel confident enough. That was the recent reports. Yesterday's game, okay, we lost, but no one can say that Ansu Fati looks underconfident, because
Yeah.
the man was trying to take Barcelona on his back to win at
Yeah.
the Bernabeu. He
Yeah.
alone,
I
one
completely
man,
agree.
one man kind of an army it was yesterday. So the only positive for me, and I think the true contender for TA Paper of the Match award. So moving on, Aniket, talk to me about the ratings, and to do that, let us move to the next segment, which is TFB ratings. Aniket, so what we would love to hear about your ratings.
So ratings today are pretty bad, as none of the players were exceptional in this match. So let me rate it, and this is how it goes. So Dembele gets a rating of 5, Lewandowski gets a rating of 3, Rafinha 5, Pedri 5, Busquets 3, Frankie de Jong 6, Balde gets a rating of 4, Koundé 7, Eric Garcia 3, and Roberto gets a rating of 5. Marc-Andre ter Stegen gets a rating of 4. And for the substitute, let me rate Ansu Fati gets a rating of 7.5, and Ferran Torres, surprisingly, gets a rating of 7.5 as well.
Yeah.
So
So
I have one question for you, Shubham, here. As I said, Ferran Torres, what are your thoughts on Ferran Torres' yesterday's game? Because he pretty much looked solid. One goal scored in yesterday's match. And yeah, so give me your thoughts on Ferran Torres, please.
so yeah, he again, I think the point that you normally have about Ferran Torres is his positioning. So he was there at the right time, at the right place at the right time, whatever. And so that's that. And then second thing, I think he looked, I wouldn't say comfortable, but he was relatively comfortable. Let's say on the right hand side or the right wing, instead of left wing, or contrary to what we play, or Xavi was playing him in the previous games. So I think he looks better there on the right wing. So maybe I would like to see him on the right wing more in the next matches, but it would be too quick to say anything right now, because we saw that, and of course credit to him where it's due. We have been critical, or at least I have been critical about him quite a lot, and but today he had a good game, or rather he did not have a bad game. So it's quite complicated about Ferran Torres. And what I was saying is, with Ferran Torres, it's really complicated because I think consistency is the key here. He is talented, no doubts, Aniket. I'm not saying that, or I have never said that he's not talented. The problem is, um, I don't know what kind of slump he's going through, and he needs to get out of that quickly. Because even that goal versus Victoria Pilsenia, which was a brilliant goal, he came on, I think, he came on as a substitute in that game, and we all said that this is exactly what Ferran Torres needed, some boost in his confidence, a beautiful goal, and then next match he would be awesome. Nothing happened. He exactly went back to his normal self of doing nothing, trying to I don't know, trying to do something. I don't understand what actually Ferran Torres was doing in the previous games. But I think this game he was comfortable, and maybe Xavi should think of starting him in like not important games, but let's say home games against bottom half teams. You know, in La Liga. But my question, or my let's say my point here would be more of Ansu Fati and Dembele. I would like to see these two players playing together, because I think Rafinha and Dembele together, I don't know. I don't know, because of course Dembele is more comfortable on the right hand side, even though he he can play with both feet. I think Dembele would like to start on the right hand side, and Ansu Fati, the perfect player right now. In the Barca
On
squad,
his position. Yeah.
yeah, to play on the left hand side. Because I think what Ansu Fati brings is a threat, a goal threat. He can not just dribble, but he can be there and score. Score from inside, score from outside, dribble, quickly assist. And so he is one kind of a small packet which can do everything. So
Unpredictable threat in the form of Ansu Fati.
I think except for Lewandowski, Ansu Fati is the only let's say maybe Pedri. So Pedri, Ansu Fati, and Lewandowski are the only goal threats. I'm not talking about assisting or goal creation. I'm talking about scoring. So only three players actually look kind of threatening, especially for when it comes to scoring. So yeah, that's my analysis about that. So we do not have like a full-fledged TFB penalty shootout today, because actually the whole media is not talking about anything else other than how Barcelona lost to Real Madrid. So and okay, we can talk about some stuff, but I think we would be back with a plethora of more news and rumors next weekend. But we have some things to talk about. Some things are, so congratulations to Robert Lewandowski for winning the Gerd Müller Award at the Ballon d'Or. Ballon d'Or. I don't know. My French pronounce.
We miss you.
Merci. But anyway, congratulations to Lewandowski for winning the Gerd Müller Award. And the most exciting news is Pablo Gavi, our magical youngster, has won the Copa Trophy, which is given to the young players. And the previous winner of this trophy was Pedri. So the trophy
it's
still
just transfer of trophy from one youngster to the another one.
Yeah, and I hope it's next could be Balde or Pablo Torre. So you never know; it could still be at Camp Nou. But congratulations to our players, and I think we have some news as well, which is related to. I think Aniket, you mentioned one news which is against Villarreal. They are thinking to start Frankie De Jong instead of Sergio Busquets. So I think it's a good call. And one last news which I have is Memphis and Bayern. They are in the last stretch of their recovery. I think it's too soon for them to get a green light against Villarreal. But the report suggests that they will be ready, or they should be ready against Athletic Bilbao on Sunday. So a big news because, as we know, we need our defenders back, and I think Memphis could be a good addition, because Lewandowski, I don't know. As we discussed, if we had Memphis, in previous games, one of the previous games, he could come off, on the bench and try to score, because when there is no substitute for a player, it's a terrible situation. And
it's like all the pressure on the world is on that player alone. But if you have someone in the form of substitute, it's like divided pressure in between those two. So that's a terrible feeling for Lewandowski. But being a player of his stature, he should have had that responsibility, and he should have taken that responsibility on his shoulder all by himself.
Indeed. So I think that's that, Aniket. So we will be back on Sunday with more analysis of La Liga against Villarreal and Athletic Bilbao. I hope that both of the games are in the winning cause, because it's It's quite hard to record a podcast and to analyze games when we lost, especially on the trot. And the next recording that we have to do is against Inter in the Champions League, which is also terrible. So yeah, any last thoughts?
Well, I hope the team plays well in the upcoming games. Xavi finds something out in each and every player, like the exceptional things about each and every player, so that he could perform well in next games and make Barcelona win again.
Indeed. So to all the listeners who listen to us on Spotify or Google Podcast, Apple Music, Amazon Music, please follow us on these platforms. Please, review us on Apple Podcast because every single review and every single comment helps us grow. Please share our podcast with your friends. Doesn't matter if they are Barcelona fans or they could be following different clubs. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like our content, comment. You can ask us some questions, or if you want us to talk about some specific aspects of football related to FC Barcelona or not, we would love to do some segments. And just subscribe. Yeah, Aniket, did I miss anything?
Yeah, so the links of all those platforms would be in the description below. You can just go to the description, follow us on different platforms. Like, share, comment, subscribe as usual. It helps us a lot if you like our content, and if you write a comment, the algorithm would publish our episodes to more and more peeps out there. So that's all for today. Forza Barca, guys.
Forza Barca.
Good night.
Barca! Barca!